Good afternoon, good evening. You're watching Makobe.com. This is just a continuation on the clearances, the different clearances that we have to carry out or have to issue before the other trade can proceed with their own activity. I did already for ceiling closure. Now I'll be talking of wall closure, maybe plastering or probably gypsum board closing, which is very important to understand. So when we are giving clearance for this particular points to be closed, we have to ensure all our services are all done. Okay, here we have a clearance which we need to issue or to give out for gypsum board closing. So we have to ensure that all our PVC pipes are all installed as per the different services that we have on this particular wall, which is very important. Go through the small power systems to ensure that we have all the socket outlet points that are all installed, and to ensure that we have all the loops, because we might have a radial circuit or probably a ring circuit. So we ensure that we have all the conduits and loops as per the shop drawing or the approved shop drawing that we have, which is very important. So once all this is done, we have to also raise an inspection to ensure that this is approved by the consultant before we can give clearance for that particular wall or closure for that particular wall. Very important. For this case now will be plastering. So we also ensure that we have our PVC conduit which are installed as well. We go through all the different services such as small power systems, fire alarm system, BMS system. For small power system, we ensure that all the socket outlets are all installed. The points, we have to ensure that the PVC conduit drops, goes to the box or the back boxes, make sure that they are all installed as well. Then before we can give clearance for the plastering, ensure that thermostat points for BMS as well are all installed. Fire alarm systems also, we ensure that we don't have any points on the wall before we are giving clearance for that particular wall to be plastered. If you look at this other side, we need to also complete the PVC conduit for the respective services on this wall so that we can give clearance for gypsum board closure, which is very important. So this is the different procedures that we have to follow before we give clearance. Wall closure as well, or plastering, we ensure that we have our sealants also, which are all done for the respective services which are penetrating or moving to the other location. So once we are crossing with one service to the other location, we have to ensure that we close it, and by closing it we ensure that the wall, be it fire rated or non-fire rated, will provide the specific sealant that is required for that particular wall, which is very important. So here also we have gypsum board closure. So before we close here also, we have to ensure all our PVC conduit, all our pipes and everything have been installed. We have our DB installed as well. We have a control panel which is installed as well. We have to ensure that all the different conduits are dropped to that particular panel board and everything is okay. Pull the cables or the wires and ensure that all the inspection as well is being done before we can give clearance for closure, as you can see, which is already done, which is very important. So when we are giving clearance, we give the clearance without any fear, without anything in mind, so we know all the different activities have been completed. This is very important. So, but for best understanding, it's very important to prepare a log sheet for clearances, so you get to know what are the different services and what are the different activities that are to be carried out for that particular service when giving clearance. So when you come, you just do a tick for the different services and for the different activities that are already provided, and which that are not provided, you have to call a team to make sure that they install that particular activity for that particular service, which is very important. This is just for wall closure, ceiling, plastering, gypsum board closure, etc., which is very important. So we give clearance and we give way for the other contractors to proceed with their own work. It's very important all for the other trades. Thank you very much. Till then, you're watching Makobe.com.